AIM-listed Power Metal Resources is a global multi-commodity project group with 14 different commodity projects around the globe. Some are undergoing exploration, some are being sampled and drilled, and others are being spun off into separate companies to be prepared for IPO. I'm joined once again by Chief Executive Paul Johnson to bring us up to date on progress. Paul, hello again. How are you?
Hello, Alan. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. Shame that the same can't be said of the markets. They're just pretty awful, aren't they? I think when we last spoke, things weren't too good, but if anything, they're even worse.
Oh, yeah, they are. For now, anyway. This is, I've done resource investing for 15 years now. This is probably the worst phase I've seen, surprisingly. In all of the 6, I think, cycles that I've experienced, these real dark patches leading to major upturns in the sector. It's where you make your money right now, not when everything's easy and everything's rising. You make your money by holding, positioning yourself. At the moment, some people choose to go into cash. I've never really been a great fan of going into cash. I think once you've got the nice bank balance, it's very difficult to prize it away and put it into investments until they've had a good old run and you've missed the lion's share of the opportunity. So as much as it frustrates and, it doesn't change, however much experience you've got, these dull phases are dull, frustrating, annoying. I look to the future in the sector. I think it's astonishingly bright.
Well, I think the thing is, Paul, underneath it all, despite what the markets are currently doing to share prices, and of course, every company, every small cap company in the UK is feeling the pinch right now, the actual underlying business is performing as it always has done. You're progressing projects, you're spinning companies off. What can you tell us about the latest developments? Of course, we've heard about Celta in Australia, and of course, the new Ballarat Gold Company there. What can you tell us about the latest developments?
Oh, we're proactive across almost all of our portfolio at any one time. We've never been quiet. We never sat back. We've got multiple project packages in spin-out disposal mode, some of which the market knows about. We've got other work that's underway, as you would expect, in other corporate activities that we hope in not too long the market can see. Exploration wise, we're driving for discoveries across our portfolios. We've done, I think, 6 drill programs in the last 18 months. Predominantly, we've had very strong results from them. On occasions, in the last year, the market hasn't deemed the results to be strong, but that's just the nature of a falling marketplace, and we're not too worried about it. We know what we have, and we're pushing, and I think, potentially very close to a number of major developments on the exploration side. So we're still going very aggressively. Our office just around the corner is buzzing at the moment with people working. Technical developments every day, corporate developments every day. And it's not that we're immune to the market, but we have to insulate the team to a degree and focus them on delivering the real results. They might not make a difference today or tomorrow. I think they'll make a dramatic difference in the weeks and months that lie ahead.
Absolutely. Well, I think as you say, you're running a business. The business is doing what it says on the tin. You are developing projects, you're drilling, you're exploring, and the staff that work there, it's just a normal day's work for them, as they always have done. So it's important to remember that. So
it is, Alan, and it's also important to remember the nature of what we've been doing with our portfolio gathering over the last 3 years. We've not just gone, for tiny projects that are low cost and easily controllable. We've gone, largely speaking, for district scale opportunities. Whether it's the first development package in Australia, in WA and the Northern Territory, or whether it's New Ballarat Gold in Victoria. You go across to the States, you've got that strategic tungsten, silver, zinc, copper resource in Nevada. The Golconda project with dramatic upside, also in Nevada, targeting gold, a large gold deposit. And then in Africa, with our Botswana work, quite significant, substantial developments over the last few years to build ourselves into a position of immense strength. Now, we can't dictate the markets. Commodity prices are still strong, very strong. The stocks at the LME are disastrously low in these base metals. The clear forward demand for uranium as the energy metal market comes alive as people switch back onto nuclear and recognize the clean energy source it is dramatic. And we've got 2 projects, including very large strategic holding in the Athabasca Basin. We're littered with strategic district scale packages within our business. And so I'm just looking forward to where we're going as a business, whilst making sure day to day that we deliver practically as much as we can on every level.
Indeed. Well, I saw the interview with Oliver Friesen, the Chief Executive of Golden Metal Resources. Very exciting developments there, and obviously looking forward to the upcoming IPO. Likewise, I've seen the interviews with Tristan Pottas at FDR. Of course, you're wearing the polo shirt there. And of course, these IPOs are set to launch on the markets in coming months. Can you just update us on that process?
Yeah, sure. Well, we've got 4 published IPOs, planned IPOs. I have to use the word planned. Until something actually happens, you have to use the conditional for any kind of announcements or conversations. We've got 4. First Class Metals, where we sold our Hemlo Schreiber interest there at an advanced stage. And I'm really looking forward to seeing them on the market, because their business package, including specifically, well, I like Hemlo North, a project that we were involved with. Price was vending our interest into them. We got a very large position in them. They're in Ontario, Canada, and we think they'll be a stonking success on the market. We've got Golden Metal Resources, been at the IPO preparations for some time, again at the advanced stage of that now. So very much looking forward to that coming on the market and delivering. You don't get many opportunities in London listed companies to have one of the most significant, in my view, strategic projects in North America. That's the tungsten project, Pilot Mountain in Nevada. And then we've got First Development. We've just announced the pre-IPO, 1.125 million raised, and that is focused on magnetic bullseye, Greatland Gold Havieron style targets in WA, Western Australia, and a phenomenal Celta project, which has gone on leaps and bounds since we took it on, with a uranium rare earths, and we think now lithium. So, that's a superb package, and we're looking forward to that coming on market. We've got to do the work on that, of course, but we think it's a relatively straightforward process, because it's all focused on Australian companies and interests, apart from the UK Holding Co, the PLC, that will go to list. We, unlike Golden Metal, where we had to collapse the Australian subsidiaries holding Pilot Mountain, which took a little bit longer, we don't have those challenges in FDR, First Development. And then finally, the new Ballarat Gold opportunity in Victoria, where we've got over 1,832 square kilometres of granted ground, covering a dramatic amount of gold mine workings and former working mines. We're doing exploration. We've done drilling there. We've got some really good results from that drilling that we've announced to market, and looking forward to that finding its way to market. And we're pushing that, hard now, because it's important that gets its public listing.
Of course. And just on New Ballarat, of course, very exciting. There are a number of other companies operating in that area, and actually the sampling work, the drilling that's taking place, they're finding some great results there, which of course bodes really well for what the New Ballarat team will find when they actually get on the ground.
It does. We've been focused around the Ballarat area. Recently, last week, I think, Southern Cross Gold, ticker SXG,
Southern Cross Gold,
announced a result of, I think it was 119 meters at 3.9 grams a ton gold from 106 meters down, I think, which was a phenomenal hole. And that hole is situated circa 10 kilometers east of our Kilmore granted license, which is a large block license in Victoria. So we are obviously buoyed up and excited by that. It demonstrates the kind of potential. It was a gold antimony discovery hole. Our geological model was based at Kilmore on gold antimony. So you can imagine we're buzzing. Now, in a normal market, in a positive market, that kind of result from a neighbour would have radiated out to our shares as well, because we've got Power has 49.9% of that joint venture in Victoria. It's a dramatic piece of business in our portfolio, and we want, we normally you'd see the reaction. We saw nothing, and that's just the nature of the market at the moment. It's not going to be this way forever, but it is right now the way things seem to play out.
Indeed, which is why the company's just got to get on with doing what it does, and it will deliver results, and eventually the market will turn around, and when it does, it will snap back very suddenly and very violently. So
yeah, one of my former colleagues a few years ago said to me that the junior resource space turns on the sixpence. One day you can be celebrating, the next day commiserating with each other, and vice versa. And I've learned that over the years, and that's why I stay invested largely rather than go to cash, because it's the turnarounds are so rapid, and the moment the market starts to gear up, then the liquidity on the buy side is very low, so it's difficult to access big positions. So I think I would like investors to have more optimism, which is difficult, especially if you're new into the sector, where perhaps you've seen the post-COVID boom, then you've seen the drag down, then you've seen what I think now is the capitulation. I'd like them, perhaps, if they've been through this suffering over the last year or so, to hold on a little and see how the market plays out. Because in my experience, over the last 6 kind of down phases that I've experienced over 15 years, the snapback has been very sharp. And within a few months, of that pullback happening, you forget completely about what happened in the dark, difficult days.
Yeah.
You become careless, if anything. So I would definitely learn from this moment, as I always try to do, to feel the experience, so that when we start to make oodles of money, which I believe is coming in our space, that don't feel guilty about it. When people say to you, you're very lucky because you've just 10 bagged, an investment, you remind them and you remind yourself of the difficulty and challenge that you went through at times like this.
You went through pain to get to the gain. That's the message. That,
I knew you'd pull a phrase out.
So Paul, let's put the markets aside. The business is going great guns. In terms of milestones near term, what should shareholders be looking for now?
Well, of course, we've got our interim results coming up. It covers an interesting period if you look at what's happened over the 6 months, because it covers 1st of October through to 31st of March. So it's well worth, I think, reading the interim results when they come out. I don't normally say that about interim results or final results, but in fairness, we've had a very active period. It's covered our key FDR acquisitions in Western Australia, the Northern Territory. It's covered the Pilot Mountain acquisition. It's covered significantly the First Class Metals activities. It's covered a number of significant drill programs, almost all of which has been extremely positive across our business portfolio. So it's well worth a read to catch up on what we've been up to. Aside from that, we've obviously got corporate activity underway across multiple different levels in our business. So we hope for updates on our planned IPOs. We hope for updates on new corporate activity. And we're trying to innovate. As the market changes, then you can do things differently. There's so much opportunity in difficult markets for companies such as ours. So we intend to seize on those opportunities. Exploration-wise, we have some phenomenal programs running at the moment. We've got obviously the Ditau drill program with our partners, Kavango, where we've undertaken a number of deep diamond drill holes. Some of the core coming out has been phenomenally interesting, and we'll see what that yields in terms of assay results. We've got more data to come out of Australia and Victoria, and there's other work happening across the portfolio where announcements will follow. I can't promise that announcement when it comes out will send the share price up 50, 100, 200, 300%. I know we all hope for that, and I'm pretty sure that announcements in the future will have that effect across our sector when the sector starts to strengthen again. But it will be a reasonably intense period. We're into quarterly reporting now as a business to align ourselves with Canada and Australia and the markets there. So we will be producing a quarterly report covering the period to the end of June, as well as the interim results. So there'll be plenty of news flow out to market. Our website is starting to chock up with information about our business. There are individual fact sheets on all of our uranium projects in the Athabasca. There's our corporate presentation, of course. There's the reports that we're developing. I think so far we've done uranium, tungsten, lithium, and we're doing some more. So there's plenty for people to read to get a sense as to how we're taking this business forward. I think it's a professional, disciplined outfit. I think we are in a position as a business that I've never ever been in any of my companies before, that I've been on the board of or engaged with, and I include Greatland Gold in that, to be quite frank, and I include Metal Tiger in that, and I include ECR in that, where I've been involved. I think we've been able to build an incredible portfolio. It's made for our times, perhaps not today, but certainly I think for the weeks and months ahead.
Well, despite the uncertainty hanging over the stock market, it's very clear that it's full steam ahead at Power Metal Resources. Paul Johnson, Chief Executive, thank you for joining us and for updating us today.
Alan, thank you very much. And can I just add one point?
Please
if you're in our space as a private investor and you're hanging in there, it's an incredibly difficult thing to do. It's taken me almost entirely my adult life to be able to have the strength and bravery to live through market conditions such as this. If you're there and you're doing that now, it's an incredible achievement. I think our sector will deliver to a scale and level that's not been seen in history. To do that, you have to get through these difficult phases, and I know it's in difficult times. There is a tendency to lash out, to try and find reasons why shares are not performing, and I have a lot of reasons from investors as to why my share is not performing at the moment. I listen to everybody, and generally speaking, I push ahead as planned. We're not dismissive. We're very interested to see what people have to say. But it is a promising time for our sector. Make no mistake about that. And I trust that the people who have the bravery, the strength, and perhaps the craziness to stay in this market, that they will make their fortunes in the coming years.
Here, Paul. Well said. And thank you again.
Thanks, Alan.